Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Zoho Live. Okay, what are we going to talk about today? Similar to the popular idea rather, of this one true love in the literary world, to which you give all your time and money and attention and put all your hopes and dreams and desires to it. There is also such a popular idea in the world of business to spend all your time and money and effort and pin all your hopes and dreams and desires and aspirations to the one venture that you start. Well, the main goal or challenge with starting a business, I agree, is to make it successful. But there is also always a latent secondary goal to figure out as quickly as possible if it is going to be successful so that you could move on. Here in Zoho Live, we are going to unravel the journey of a serial come parallel entrepreneur, Satyen Babla. Thank you so much for joining us, Satyen. Welcome to Zoho Live.
Thank you, Vanati. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you. And Satyan, I wanted you to tell us about your journey. That's why I didn't want to go about giving a biodata of yourself during the intro. So give us a brief account of your journey, Satyan. We will dive deep into it as the session progresses. But can you tell us where you started, what you did, and what are you doing right now?
Wow. So I started working as a customer service executive. That was my first job for a company over here called Belhassa Driving Center. From customer service, I moved to procurement. Then I moved and joined my dad's business in marketing. We had a BTL agency. Then I started dance, which is a dance and a fitness studio and an event entertainment agency. While dance was on, I invested in a company called Demand, which is into video production. And I've recently started Zopreneur, which is an authorized Zoho partner.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. From working in a 9 to 10 day job kind of a thing to going on to entrepreneurship with particularly dance, can you tell us how that transition happened?
So ever since I was in school, I knew I wanted to run my own business. Like that was always very, very clear. And what happened was I did my graduation, I came back and I wanted to join my dad's business. And dad, being a true typical Indian dad, said, "No, you're not gonna get it easy. You have to go find a job, work hard, build your network, do the mistakes, learn, and then come and join dad's business, right?" So
Right.
I wasn't given an option. I had to do the 9 to 5 job. That went on for 5 years till it came to a point where I realized that I can't do this anymore. This is just not worth it. It doesn't make sense. I'm not happy. And that's when the switch happened to dad's business. And while I was there, I used to freelance in the evening and learn dance and do choreographies. And eventually, 2 years later, with dad, there came a point where I used to wake up in the morning and look forward to going to the 6 p.m. dance session and like just wait for that 9 to 5 to get over. And the minute that passion took over my day, I realized it's time to switch. So it was very transitional, it was very natural. It's just something that happened from within where I wanted to kind of make the switch and it just happened.
Okay, so that's how you knew when there was a spark in this over anything else that you were doing after 3 different jobs that you have had, right? Awesome.
Absolutely.
Right. And I read somewhere this very interesting quote, Satyan. The trouble with movie as a business is that it is an art. The trouble with movie as an art is that it is a business. But how do you draw parallels between art and business? Because everyone wants to convert their art into something profitable, but not many of us are able to do that. But we do know that it is through art that we learn life. They also say that through science you may know the world, but through art you know life. So, what is it that dance taught you which business didn't or couldn't have?
Wow. That's a deep question.
I mean,
So
for a serial entrepreneur and a parallel entrepreneur, it's befitting, I'd say.
thank you. Thank you. So I believe it all boils down to your passion. It all boils down to your passion. When you're an artist, you love what you do, and that's why you do it. And that's one of the biggest USPs we have as artists is we love our work. And when you love your work, it does not look like you're working. It doesn't feel like you're working. You enjoy every minute of it. And I would also go ahead and say, after being 10 years in business, that business is also an art. There is an element of art in business, and that art is primarily building and sustaining relationships. So you might
Yes.
be amazing at what you do in your art, but if you're not great at the art of relationships, then you will struggle at the art of business. So something that business taught me was that you need to maintain the art of relationships also, and just not be a great dancer or a great choreographer. It's more than that.
Beautiful. And I mean, what did you, after venturing into dance, DANS is the name of the company you said, did you know that this was going to scale into a big business, that you were going to build an enterprise out of it? Or was it just a means to something else that you would probably figure out later?
So personally, I had no idea where we were heading and how things were going to grow. I was loving what I was doing, so I just continued putting in the hours. And honestly, even we didn't know how and when it kind of expanded to where it is right now. We started off as two people in one studio in a small little space, and over time we turned to 16 people, four studios, 13,000 square foot of space. We've done IFA awards, Filmfare awards, Masala awards. And if you ask me, I myself don't know when the transition happened. So initially, when I started off, the idea was to kind of sustain it as a business, but not in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine that we would be doing IFA awards or Filmfare awards or something along those lines. So yeah, it was just to survive, and now it's amazing.
That's great. I mean, all this sounds kind of too good to be a true kind of situation, Satyan, because you followed your passion, you discovered your passion accidentally, and then you followed it, and then you didn't have like a plan that was laid out or anything. You went with the flow, and that took you to someplace else. But I have to ask you, were you profitable? What did you not have any setbacks at all? And what did you learn?
Every business has setbacks, and we did too. We did too. I remember there was a time in our second year where we were evaluating if it makes sense to continue as a business. So yes, there were massive setbacks, and I think what kept us happy was the love that we got from our community. So that's what kind of pushed us forward. There were financial issues because rents are super high in this part of the world in UAE, and it wasn't easy to sustain. Getting people on board, you have to spend on their visa, on their insurance, on their annual leave, paid leave, sick leave, medical leave, accommodation, transport, so on and so forth. So we did have a lot of financial issues. We broke even by the end of our second year, and we were thrilled. We were delighted.
Beautiful. And I think when COVID hit a year ago, 2020, you were still with dance, right? I mean, you were still doing dance, right?
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, COVID did not spare anybody, not even big businesses. Very few businesses managed to thrive even in spite of COVID. So tell us about your journey of walking through this critical crisis as an entrepreneur, Satyan.
So COVID taught us multiple things, but one thing it really taught me was the importance of diversification. So when COVID hit, for the first few weeks, we weren't really sure as to what was happening, and we just continued and said, okay, even if we have no income, let's just continue and let's operate as normal and see how it goes. And of course, we went online. We took our classes online. We started doing online team building activities through dance and movement therapy for corporates, and many other things online. We had some massive support from the community. They did support us, but eventually that wasn't enough to sustain a business, and that's when we started looking at diversification, and that's when demand came on board, and then Zoho happened, luckily. So basically, we learned the importance of diversification as a business. That's what
Right.
it taught us.
Right. And I mean, you kind of already spoke about the art element. Dance in itself is an art, but the art element involved in business, which is to make relationships, I mean, build relationships. But I was also going to ask between dance and this video production company to Zohopreneurs, which is completely tech based, what is the common thread that you see?
It's purely passion. It's what are you passionate about? Because it just pulls you to, it's like a magnet, it's like it pulls you, just standing and you go pull through. It's like when I was dancing, we should dance for like 8 hours, 12 hours every day, and it never felt like work. You should enjoy each and every minute of it. And then we were using video for about 5 years to grow our company and showcase our talent. And we were working with Demand as a supplier to us. And 5 years after working with them, we realized that we love the team, we love these guys, and we're very passionate about video. And we want to be short and we want to shoot people. And there comes a phase where from the dancer or from an artist, you become a director, and you tell the cameraman, can you move this way and can you move that way? And that's when you know that your passion has kind of expanded from one field to another field. So passion was what got me to video. And then again, I love Zoho. Everyone around me knows that. Like, it's amazing what Zoho has done to my business. And that was also purely passion. So I'll tell you how this whole thing started, right? The initial idea was, how can we do a Zoho flash mob?
Right.
How can we do a Zoho jingle, right? How can we involve dance and video into Zoho? And
Right.
that's
I
how
was
this
I was in fact going to ask you to talk about that, Satyen, because I can see the connection between your video production company and DNS Dance. But I mean, Zoho, yes, there is craftsmanship in software building, on software implementation, and doing business with tech itself. But tech, at the end of the day, is tech. So, what? How does this connect?
So I think it connects really well because you're a Zoho veteran, of course. But what I believe Zoho does is it enables SMEs to operate like MNCs, right? And that's not easy. It's not easy to kind of put something forward which enables a small business to operate like a large business. It is craftsmanship at its ultimate level. It's an art, and kind of figuring out the business processes and automating that and putting in new processes it's all an art. It's there's no rule to it that you can apply with every business that will work. Every business is different, and Zoho works differently for all these businesses. So
True.
even though it might seem too technical, there is some level of art in it. And what makes us, what excites us, is not the back end language that goes on with the software, but the possibility of converting that into something that each and every business owner can benefit from.
Right.
So I do believe there is some level of art and some level of creativity in your process flows, in your rules, in your automations, in your blueprints. It is all art. I mean, keeping aside the technical languages behind, but from my perspective, it's an art.
That's amazing. I mean, you kind of spoke about how from dance, the shift to a video production company was almost essential because of COVID. And but how did you think from your video production company? Okay, now maybe is the right time to start something else, because when you're running something already, it would need a lot of time and effort, right? Like as we were
True.
talking about in the intro, big time. So, where did you think that this whole venture into Zoho would be possible? How did this whole thing come about?
So dance and Demand both are 100% operational still. Dance runs on Zoho. Demand runs on Zoho. So I was by default spending most of my time with Zoho and
Yeah.
doing all these automations and rules. And it just came to a point where everybody in my circle knew me as a Zoho person.
Right.
So without even being a partner, while I was a customer, I have done Zoho demos in my dance studio, set up the projector, call people over, guys, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And it was just so natural because the amazement that we experience when our customer gets happy thanks to a Zoho automation is something I cannot express. So, for example, in the dance studio, the minute you block your demo session, you get a confirmation, an automatic SMS, right? The minute you go in, the studio manager clicks demo attended, and they get an SMS saying, "Thank you for attending, was great. Here's a feedback form." Right?
Hmm.
And I have seen the amazement that the students experience. They walk out, "Oh, I got a message from you guys," and that just made me so happy. Like, it was so natural. Like, most of the people actually thought I was working with Zoho.
Right.
So
Right.
it didn't need that kind of push. It just happened. And I think irrespective of the time, I just got so consumed by Zoho that it just was the right time.
Right. Awesome. And the passion that you have for Zoho and the tech side of it, the relation building aspect of it is all very evident in the way you talk, Satyan. But now I'll ask you, do you believe that you have ultimately arrived at what you want to be doing? I mean, after having traversed a variety of different kinds of things, do you think you have arrived at what you want to be doing for the rest of your life, or does the trail of breadcrumbs continue?
No, that's a difficult question. I'm quite positive that there will be many more businesses I'll get into. What really makes me happy is empowering people. And I know that with video, we empower them and their brand. Through dance, we empower their confidence. Through Zoho, we empower their businesses. And I'm pretty sure there will be more businesses I'll put my hands into. I just, and that's what Zoho is, right? Zoho has helped me automate dance, and that's why I could move to demand and run dance simultaneously. And
Right.
Zoho has helped me automate demand so I could do Zopreneurs also. And Zoho will automate Zopreneurs so I can do something else.
Beautiful. So automation has definitely helped you save time so that you could stick to the different passion that you have, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
It's a very interesting thing, and it's true, and it's definitely true. I agree. So I also want to bring this quote of Gary Vaynerchuk that I happened to see recently. It says this: "People are chasing cash, not happiness. When you chase money, you're going to lose. You're going to even if you get the money, you're not going to be happy." I mean, it is nice. We see a lot of quotes like this, but I want to ask you honestly and candidly, is it true, or is this something only wealthy people say, or people who've already made it in their business say?
It's a gray area. It's a gray area, 50-50%. It's based on everybody's perspective. And I think it boils down to what are you doing your business for? Are you doing it because you truly love that art, or are you doing it because you truly love money? And there's nothing wrong in truly loving money. I love money a lot myself. But it just boils down to why are you doing it? With me, I do it because I love to see the smile on people's faces when they walk out of a dance session, when they see, we've had people who seen themselves on camera, on video, and cried. Said, I never believed I could do this. I look so good. This is amazing. For so many years of my life, I didn't get in front of a camera. And same thing with Zoho, right? When they see, you kidding me? You think my business can do this? Absolutely, it can do this.
Right.
So it depends on what you're running behind. If you're running behind money, then just the art will not make you happy. Money will make you happy. Running behind the art and the happiness, then that's what will make you happy. But eventually, for any successful business owner, both should go hand in hand.
Right.
So it's like you start off with what you want, give it about 2, 3, 4 years, and then both have to merge eventually for it to be successful.
Right, right. And I was actually going to ask you what aspect of your business journey makes you happy, be it whatever venture that you're into. Already, I think you kind of said seeing a smile on the face of your customers makes you happy. Is there anything else that you want to say?
I think it's the smile on my customer's face, and it's success. It's their success because their success is our success.
Hmm.
When a kid performs after like 2 months of training, and the mother sees the kid and the mother cries, because she's so happy, that's success for us.
Right.
When a client gets a new business referral because of a video they put up on LinkedIn that we shot,
Hmm.
that's success for us. When a Zoho customer comes back and says, "Thank you so much for making my life easy, I love it," that is success. So there is, of course, happiness, and I think long-term happiness becomes success eventually. So both go hand in hand.
Beautiful. I mean, you spoke about this twice in the session itself. Like you associate dancing with a boost in confidence. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So I never danced in school. I never danced in college. The first time I danced, I was about 22, 23. And also, I danced because somebody told me that I was a pathetic dancer. And that was true. And I said, you know what, you're absolutely right. And I don't feel comfortable not knowing how to dance. You go to a party, I feel awkward. Let me do something about it. And that's how I joined these classes. And That's what changed my life.
Yeah.
It gave me immense confidence. After some years, it became my business, my bread and butter. All the people I know primarily through dance. When I
Mm,
say DANCE, dancing,
mm,
right? All the people, all the money I made primarily is through dance.
mm.
All the fame I've made primarily is through dance, and it has changed my life and changed my confidence. And you can see it. You can see it with everybody. So there's a very famous concept that Tony Robbins talks about. He says, motion creates emotion. Motion creates emotion. So for all those people listening to us, if you have kids around you, young tiny cute little babies at home, right? Kids, your neighbors kids, your sister's kids, when you look at a kid who doesn't understand science or biology, but if the kid is happy when the mother comes back from work or the father comes back, the kid will start yelling, screaming, running, jumping, and there's so much movement involved in the kid expressing the kid's happiness. You'll never see a kid sit still and just smile and be happy. No, there's a lot of movement and excitement, and that's what is connected internally. And go to the opposite spectrum. You see somebody who's depressed. The first thing you notice is lack of movement, sitting head down, and there's no movement. Somebody's sad, there's no movement. So
Yeah.
happiness and movement and sadness and no movement. It's a scientific concept says that motion creates emotion. When you
Yeah.
start dancing, when you work out, when you move, you play a sport, you know your brain releases endorphins, which is a happiness chemical, which
Yeah.
makes you more positive and less negative. It kind of breaks barriers on a mental level, which does enhance your confidence. I mean, nobody knows about the scientific process flow that I'm talking about, but it is scientifically proven that motion makes you happy, dance makes you happy, it gives you confidence and reduces negative barriers in the brain. So
Yeah.
yes, that is scientifically proven and true.
Beautiful. Right, right. I mean, yes, I agree. I 100% agree. And somehow I feel that this is something that may be relevant to a lot of people around the globe because, especially for people that are going through tough times. And one of the writers who I admire a lot also had said something similar, where grief or any kind of sadness, distress that you're taken on by, it has to move through your body. It cannot stay still. And when you move physically, grief moves through your body and out of it. So yeah, that's beautifully put. And I see how the dots connect backwards, because you say all of the relationship that you developed were through DANS, your company. And that sort of definitely has to help you when you're running a consultation sort of a business, be it with the Zopreneurs or the video production company, right?
Absolutely. It's all about the relationships. So do you it's about where you want to position yourself, right? As a person, do you want to position yourself as a salesperson or as an expert who wants to help you?
Hmm.
And that's where the relationship starts, right? The minute
Right.
people know how much you care about them and their success, they want to learn from you, they want to take advice, they want to kind of get connected with you and move on. So that the famous saying that goes like, they don't care how much you know unless and until they know how much you care. So it all
Yeah.
boils down to how much you care about them. And it's, yeah, we love our people. I mean, we are where we are because of our social surrounding and because of the social support that we experience. So yeah, we love people and we love automation.
That is amazing, Satyan. And one more thing, this is a question that may be very relevant to the current times. We see a lot of big brands, big reputed brands recently around the globe have started hiring talents regardless of their education credentials. This trend or mindset, if anything, is virtually catching up. So, would you be willing to disregard someone's education credential when hiring for your own company? And where would you go about to begin that?
So again, it's a trick. You really thought these questions really well.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you.
okay, so I believe formal education is absolutely essential, and I think it purely depends on the kind of role we are looking at. If it is a technical role, let's assume you're back-end implementation person, then it is extremely important for them to have some kind of background in education or in that industry, in that space. But if it's a role that does not require specific training, there are a lot of people out there who have immense talent, and we should capitalize on that. So I would say it depends purely on the role. If it's a more generic role, if it's not a technical role, then the education does not matter. What matters is purely their attitude. That's
Right.
all that matters. It's pure and pure attitude. And if they do they love people, do they want to talk, do they want to help? That's more
Right.
important. And if it's a pure technical role, like coding, then yes, then the education is essential, I believe.
I see. Beautiful. And Satyan, when I talk to all of my guests, I would like to know what books they hold dear to, because I can see that for a lot of them, their journey as a businessman and as a person in life have taken shape through the books that they have read over years. So we would love to hear from you. What are yours?
Absolutely. So there's a book called E-Myth
Uh-huh.
that talks about the myths of business and talks about how to automate your business. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of task lists and process flows and job responsibilities. And it talks about how there are three different kinds of people in a business. There's an owner, there's a manager, and there's a technician. So that book has really changed my life. It's written by Michael Garber. That's one book, Emits. And then I love Tony Robbins. There's a book called Unshakable that's about finance. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert. So a lot
Right.
of finance and business books, and that's my space. That's what I enjoy.
Beautiful. And since we are talking about connecting the dots backwards, Satyan, we saw your day job phase, and then we saw your entrepreneurship phase. But all of this kind of started after your college, when you wanted to join your dad's company. What happened to that now? Where are we on that?
So I did work with my dad for about 2 years,
Right.
and then dance just took over. And I would work in the morning with dad and dance in the evening, and it came a point where I started enjoying that more. And I would look forward to spending more hours dancing. Thankfully, it was dad's business, so I could walk out whenever I wanted to. There was nobody on top of me, kind of supervising me or managing me. And
Right.
now with these things, I think he's his way and I'm my way, and we're figuring it out together as a family. So no, I'm not looking at going back into dad's business. In fact, he's retired right now. He's
Right.
retired and feeling the day. I have a sister. She has a
Uh-huh.
7-year-old beautiful girl.
Mm-hmm.
So the day she delivered her daughter, my parents just stopped working. They said, "This is it. This is it. We retire right now. We're gonna go have fun," and that was it. So yeah, I'm now happy with my businesses, and I'm gonna
Right.
continue in this direction.
Right. And did it also help to have somebody who has already been in business, Satyan? Because you may have had a lot of mentorship, and the fact that even the emotional or the mental factor that you could lean on to something else, even if the venture that you have taken on was good, if the road to that was going to be rocky, did that help you?
Absolutely. I have been so blessed. I've been so blessed with all the lovely people around me who've supported me and gotten me to where I am. It's extremely essential to have a support group around you. My parents have been amazing. They've never said no for anything at all. So yes, I was lucky on that front. I'm blessed with amazing people around me. So most
Right.
of the people still in dance have been with us for at least 5 years. So
Right.
that's a big number. It's extremely essential to have a support group that encourages you, because it is lonely at the top once you start your own business.
Right.
It's not easy. It's purely uphill. So
Mm.
yes, it is great to have people who support you. And I would in
Right.
fact give this piece of advice to everybody, is that please eliminate negativity from your life. If you have
Right.
people who don't support you, kind of restrict interaction with them, because you will need the positivity to
Right.
sustain and grow.
Right, right. And what would you want to tell people who want to start their own business, who may not have the kind of background or the support system that you had? I mean, not just from your dad's side, who you have already seen and grown do business, and whose mentorship may have helped you, but also, I mean, you went on to create your own set of network as well with DANS. And so, what would you tell people who would not probably have that kind of a network or a relationship as yet, but they are going to venture into a business with their idea and the product?
So my advice would be is to talk. to talk to everybody possible, grasp as much information as possible, listen to a million audiobooks, podcasts, read books, talk to people, talk to senior people, talk to people who failed, talk to people who've tried and not succeeded, tried and succeeded. Just talk to everybody and get as much information you can, is point number one. They will have to soon realize that your net work is your net worth. So
Right.
you have to network, you have to build relationships. There's no way you can sustain in the long run without relationships. People only do business with people they like and they trust. You will
Yes.
have to realize that soon. So talk to people, learn as much as you can. Don't have those mental blocks that, okay, he doesn't understand my business, she's from a different industry, or she's just running a B2C business, I'm into B2B. No, there is always something you can learn from everyone. So talk to people, and please, please, please start working on your network. You have to build those relationships. There's no way out. Might as well be happy about it.
Beautiful. And I think with that, the dot does connect backward with building relationships being the a common thread in all the ventures that you have done. And from the start till the end, it is this that has taken you throughout your journey to make a full circle out of it. Thank you so much for your time, Satyen. And it's nice talking to you.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.